things have been getting in the way, but hopefully I'm now here to stay. Yeah, so today's video is going to be very nostalgic for me. It's basically, I can take this hat off now. Today we're going to be looking at and reviewing toys that I had in the 90s. I was born in 1990, so I was a little kid in the 90s obviously, and growing up in the 90s. So my teens were 2000s, so I remember those years better. But these are the toys that I definitely remember having in the 90s, because these were all my favourite toys. I think there was like a couple of things that I couldn't find. Like I really wanted this Walkman. I put it on screen here. That was like one of my all-time favourite Christmas presents of my mum, because I love music like so many people do. I was absolutely obsessed. So these are the ones that they're maybe a little bit like late 80s, early 90s, I'm not sure. And also one thing that I didn't know was that, well, I didn't know this part, but I have some family in America, and I didn't realise how many toys my family bought me on their family trips to America and brought back for me. So it was really hard finding a couple of these things. Like I have a Furby, for example, and it was limited edition, and I could only find it in the US, so that was really difficult for me to get my hands on, and expensive. Okay, so I think we're gonna start off with the first thing that you can see, which is, let me just recheck everything and then I can come back and show you. Actually, I lied. We're gonna start off with this big baby here. Look at his little belly. This, for anyone who doesn't remember, is Baby Sinclair from a TV show back in the 90s called Dinosaurs. And basically humans like us were their pets. And this was Baby Sinclair. And he used to go, not the mama, not the mama. And he actually has this pull cord on the back of him. But this I had when I was like a baby toddler. Look, this is it. Like give you a little close up here. They're like his pretend fingernails, but they're actually just on the, painted onto the fabric. And then his face is plastic. He needs a good clean, but he's come straight from America from eBay. And as you can imagine, these things have gone up quite a bit in value because there is a lot of collectors out there, but I love how his belly's always like sticking out. But yeah, it has this pull cord on the back here, which is really loud, so I'm going to turn the sound down. But this is what he sounds like now. He's saying gotta love me. I'm the baby. Don't know what he's saying there, can't remember. No idea. He used to say not the mama. But yeah, it's apparently a common problem over time that like the voice box on them starts to sound like that, and it's like really fast and squeaky. So I couldn't find one online that didn't sound like that, unfortunately. But yeah, so he's got his big nappy on, his big dinosaur feet, the little baby toes. Again, they're like drawn on, and I absolutely loved the show Dinosaurs. And it's so nostalgic to me because we would go to my great grandma's every weekend, and that's where I would watch it. But yeah, it just reminds me of going to my grandma's when I was little. So is that light been annoying you the whole time? It's because the light in this room broke, so we moved the lamp down, and it's actually currently resting on that chair, which seems extremely dangerous. But I assure you, we only keep it on when we are around, and someone's put my mirror on upside down. Because yeah, I'm too messy, and then I'm too clean. Don't me get a job in US where the hell I've been. Anyway, so yeah, so I'm gonna rate this guy I'm like rating him about how much I loved him as a kid. So I'm gonna go on a scale of 1 to 10. I would say this was quite high. I'm gonna say this was an 8, a solid 8. Yeah, I'd give him more, but he doesn't work, so it's a big booty out of here. Okay, one of the next things, I remember this. Actually, this was probably 90s, early 2000s, I'm not quite sure, but I actually picked this myself because my mom would let me go to Meadowhall in Sheffield for my birthday. Anybody who's English will know what that is, but yeah, so she would take me there and then give me money for my birthday, and I could pick what gifts I wanted, essentially. So this was something I picked with my birthday money one year, and it is a hand's motion sensor. See if it works. What button? Is that a button? I can't press the button with nails. Okay, I think he needs batteries. Hopefully he still works, but yeah, he needs batteries. But it says with over 40 phrases and sounds, so it's quite a lot. So basically, this was like a popular thing in the early 2000s, if I remember right, where room guards sort of came around. And so if you were like me and had siblings, these were amazing because you thought you could stop your siblings from ever entering your room, which was a load of crap because from what I remember, like they didn't do their job, or maybe I didn't know how to work it properly, but basically they were supposed to alert you if anybody had been in your bedroom, hence the name Room Guard. I remember getting this because I thought this would be amazing, and then if my little sister ever came into my bedroom, I'd know straight away. I Flik would tell her to get out of my room, and I just thought that's gonna be amazing. And yeah, then I don't think it ever did its job, or like I say, probably that I just didn't know what to do. But yeah, so try me quick press button since squish alert. I don't know what that means. Squish alert. What does squish alert mean? Insert batteries, and then you could also get this guy. Let me show you. You could also get this guy from Books Life too. I chose Flik because that is what I had as a kid. This is probably one of the cheaper things that I managed to get hold of. You can buy this on Vinted for like £10-20. So if you want or had a Flik and want your very own, then they are pretty easy to get. So you're welcome for that information. Okay, let's open him up and see if it works. Just going on how much I love that toy as a kid, I'm actually going to score that one pretty low because, like I say, I don't think I could get it to work, and I just remember like thinking it was going to be a lot cooler than what it was. So I'm going to score that probably a 4 out of 10. Yeah, pretty low. Okay, sorry about that, but it is actually a couple of days later because I got really bad backache while filming, so I had to take a break, and then I ended up taking 2 days. So here we go. Okay, now the next thing I wanted to show you is actually a limited edition, and I do believe that they only sold them in the US. It is this Furby. It is actually called the Autumn Furby. Don't know if you can see there. It says Autumn Furby. And like all original Furbies, it has this logo to say it is a original Furby. And this, I believe, was made in, it says 1998, so therefore I must have been 8 years old when I had this, or at least when it came out. And as you can see, it's a witch. It's a Halloween Furby. Me and my sister both had one. I think we both had the same though. I do have this memory of one of us having a green Furby at Halloween, but from what I remember, we both had the same one at Halloween, so I'm not sure. It has this black fluffy tail. I know it's been a few days, but I tried to do my makeup exactly the same and I put the same top on, but my nails are actually different. They're like these little Christmassy owl nails, if you can see. But yeah, me and my sister loved this. It's got a black and green hat, and the hat is quite fluffy. Also, ew, that looks a bit gross. So yeah, this has travelled all the way from the US because that's the only place I could find this on eBay in America. And if you've ever had a Furby, you know that the only way to get them to shut up is by taking out the batteries. So I've actually pulled this. All the batteries are in there. Yes, it took 4 AA batteries. But yeah, so once I put that in and push it up, he then activates and starts talking. And one of my favourite things before this even started up, which I was absolutely ecstatic that it even worked after all this time, because from what I remember, even in 1998, you were lucky if your Furbies didn't malfunction was really shocked that this actually worked. And now I couldn't get it in the box because the one that was like around about the same price had the box, but obviously never been opened. She couldn't test whether it still worked. This one didn't have the box, but she could verify that it still worked. So I went for this one. So I probably won't be able to sell it for as much money as I would if it was the one in the box, or maybe even get my money back. But I wanted one that I knew would work for this actual video, so we could listen to it together and see it in all its glory. Okay, so I'm gonna put it back in. He does that a lot. Now he's sleeping. I don't know if they all did this, but this one in particular sleeps a lot. Furby. Furby. Okay, I actually think he's just stopped working because I can't get him to come back on. Unless I need new batteries, so we'll see about that one. So perhaps I did make a mistake by not getting the one in the box. Yeah, so I'm gonna rate that Furby again on how much I loved this as a kid, and I'm gonna give that a solid 8 out of 10. Definitely, because it's one of those that like of toys that you remember that you absolutely loved. Definitely that one. I think a lot of us have those toys that we remember from being kids that were like, they're just like core memories in our childhood, and for me that was this Furby. Eyelashes. It's got nicer eyelashes than me. He's got a tall little ear, but I think that adds to his character. Fuzzy little feet and a fuzzy little body. Okay, next is this game. It is called the Playful Penguin Race. I think Playful might be the brand. Oh no, DY Toys. And this, they've actually brought like a newer version of this back out, and you can actually buy this on Amazon. I think it's between 10 and 15 pounds. This is an original from the 90s. This is what the actual game looks like, and then the penguins go around this game here. There's pictures of me with this as a toddler before we left our first home, which was when I was, I think, 4 years old. So I had this when I was really little, and I still remember this game. That's how much I loved it. But yeah, I have a picture, I think, of me and my dad and my mum in our first home, and this game is in that picture somewhere. I don't know. That's how I was able to find the exact one. Not the exact one, that would be crazy if this was the one that I played with. But yeah, I mean, the game, an original 90s one. I think it was made in the 90s, I can't really find. I'm not actually going to open this game because there's so many pieces to it and I don't want to have to build it up, but I will put on screen some photographs of this toy in use, if that makes sense. Photos that I can find of other people playing with this. So I'm going to give this one probably a 5 because I'm too young to remember fully how much I loved it, but I remember it and I was younger than 4, so I can only imagine that I must have loved it because I remembered it and I was under 4. Okay, next up we have this gal. Let me show you. Her hair actually looks worse than mine. Hey guys. Hey, how's it going? Okay, you want to focus on her face? This is the dolphin sky dancer. Why is she called a sky dancer? And if you remember these from the 90s or had one of these in the 90s, you may remember that these actually got banned because they were classed as dangerous, basically, because you pull this seahorse, which is a cord. She twirls. I'm doing it very slowly right now, but she twirls and then flies off. So I will show you me pulling it like full force, but yeah, I think originally these have something to do with My Little Pony, but I can't be sure because I never really watched My Little Pony. And there are lots of different types of these sky dancers, but I had the one with the dolphins, so I had to get this exact one. And again, thanks to Vinted and eBay, I managed to obviously get all these things. It's so hot with the light. Anyway, let me just move that a little bit here. But yeah, so I'm going to show you what she does. Her wings are actually made of foam, so they're not like hard plastic. They are, oh actually, no, they're not hard plastic, they are foam. My camera's being shit at the minute, I don't know why. Yeah, it's like a foam. She's got this like pink and blonde hair in a little ponytail. And then obviously these are her foam wings. She has like ballerina shoes on, and her legs kind of just turn into one basically. Like, I don't know if you can see because of her wings, but yeah, they just turn into like one leg, and then she is plopped in here. Okay, moment of truth. I'm scared. She's okay. Let me see if I can show you without her flying off. Like, flying off but not too far. So you see how much momentum she builds up when you do that. Just that, really slowly, like, watch. So you can imagine when you really, I'm not going to do it, but when you really play it, she takes off and potentially takes some kids' eye out. So yeah, I can totally understand why these were classed as dangerous back in the 90s. But even so, I still loved it. But I'm going to give this probably I'm going to give this a 3, because although I really loved her, like, she doesn't really do much, and I think I just like the look of her and the colours and the dolphins more than anything, and I think she looked a bit shabby. Even back then I remember thinking she looked shabby, and I don't like this texture. I don't like foam. So for that reason, I'm sorry girl, but you're going to be a 3. What did I say? A 4. Okay, yeah, a 4. That's being generous. It is. That's her face. Can you see now? Come on, I wanted to focus on her face so you can see her face. It ain't gonna focus. So yeah, she's a 4. That robe. Ew, that robe is such a gross colour. Like, I never even thought about all the germs that could be on that. That's grim. Next we have Rustall's. Wait, no, Rustall's. Skiing Rustall, and he says, again, I don't think it's gonna show you on his top, but it says born to ski, and he's all geared up in his little boots. They feel like faux leather. And then he has the pink hair, the little woolly bubble hat, cute scarf. He lost the show. I actually found this in a charity shop, and I think these are still around today. Like, people still know what these dolls are, surely. I'm pretty sure. Same as the Furby, actually. You know, I heard somewhere that this year the Furby is like one of the top toys, most asked for toys. So Furbies are making a comeback. Oh, they've been around all this time and I've just forgot about them. Shoop, 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 shoop. All I remember about Rustall's is that I would have them in the bath. I don't know if I had this one in particular, but I would have them in the bath, and I would love like styling their hair in the water. I don't know why. And their entire bodies, like, usually they don't have clothes if I remember right, and they have like funny little belly buttons. Yeah, they have funny belly buttons. Look. And they would just, it's coming up. So they were like an easy bath toy for little kids, because you could just like, the hair would dry. It's like gross, fluffy, horrible. It's literally like the ends of my hair. Oh my god, that's actually shocking. I don't even know if I'm going to leave that in. I'm going to give the Rustall a a 3 out of 5. And I know that's pretty low, and a lot of people like them, a lot of people love them, still do probably. But again, like the Skydance doll, they just didn't really do much. So, like, at least she shot in the air and probably blinded people, you know. What do you do? Look, this is what their faces look like, in case you've never seen a rust doll before. Rust troll, I don't know why I keep saying that. You have your funny little faces. Now that if focuses on, it wouldn't. It's okay, we just lost the plastic from his glasses. Nothing to see here. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 3. Did I give it a 3? Well, if I didn't, I'm giving it a 3 now. I wonder why they were called rust trolls. I'm gonna look that up. It's Tomb Raider, baby. Tomb Raider. And she comes on this plastic stand with... I'll get her out so we can have a proper look. She used to have 2 guns in the sheaths on her belt, but for some reason this one didn't come with them. But the lady swore that she never opened this, and it looks like she hasn't, because it does look like it is still sealed. But her guns are not there, so whether they fell out while in storage, I don't know. She didn't know anything about them. But yeah, it is the Lara Croft in wetsuit, Tomb Raider by Playmates. And I think there was different versions of this. From what I remember, her arms do move, you know, and you can point that big gun that she has there in her hand. You can point this gun, I'm sure. Again, we will play with it and we'll find out, because I need to open this. I don't care if it decreases in value, I need to open this. I mean, the box itself is pretty cool. And it says on the back, International action hero Lara Croft has conquered the darkest jungles and topped the highest mountains, all for the thrill of the challenge. She starts every day someplace new, each exotic location more deadly than the last. The odds are always against her, just the way she likes it. So that's what it says. So yeah, it says 2 removable pistols, which, as you can see on the box there, she did have a gun in each sheath, a pistol in each sheath, because I remember those, because I really looked after this doll when I was a kid, until my dog got it and chewed it up. She had a harpoon gun, which obviously she has in her hand. I don't think you could take that out of her hand, I can't remember. And diorama display. So yeah, you get this whole Tomb Raider display, but you can prop her on and take her off and use, you know, like play with her like any other figure. Play with her like I used to. I loved this doll. To me, this was my Barbie. My sister had Mycene and Barbies and all that, and I had Tomb Raider in a wetsuit. Look how cool she be looking in a wetsuit. My mom and my uncles, my aunties, and whatever else all went to visit family in America, and my uncle brought this back for me, and I absolutely loved this toy. This was one of my best toys ever. One of the first games ever that I absolutely loved was Tomb Raider. This was like before the films and whatever else, but yeah, I absolutely love this game, and I loved Lara Croft. My mum's dog got hold of it and chewed her up one day, and I was devastated. I think I still played with her for years after that, but yeah. And obviously I could never get it again until now, because it was bought while my family were in America, and obviously I am from the UK. Anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna give this 10 out of 10. And I know that's a lot, but I wholeheartedly believe this toy deserves it. If I was gonna keep any of these today, I'd be keeping this one. I'm sure you've already seen at the beginning of this video, but it is a Cabbage Patch Kid. Now, this is no ordinary Cabbage Patch Kid. This is a Cabbage Patch Kid bath baby. And this is what she looks like, or he looks like in the bath. Oh, I think you can get a girl version. I have this version, I'm sure. And it has and gives your little baby a shower. I love this dog so much. Now, I didn't know this, but apparently all authentic Cabbage Patch kids have the stamp on their bum. I do remember that stamp, but we're going to open this up and check if this little baby has that stamp on his boot. And they have this little outie belly button, look. But yeah, you see the dolphin with the little hat. Has he got a hat? Yeah, this. Anyway, you squeeze that and then the water comes out. And this says, in the Cabbage Patch where dreams come true, a baby is waiting for you. Each one's unique with a name all of its own, a baby to adopt and give it a good home. So trust your heart to choose the right one. Your own special baby for a lifetime of fun. How cute is that? We need to see what our baby's called. I'm sure we used to get a birth certificate also. I don't know if that's included. Yeah, you did. I remember getting a birth certificate with mine. This holds a very special memory for me of one of my favourite Christmases of all times when I was little. The memory of it apart from the day that I got it though, so for that reason I'm gonna give it an 8 because I loved it, but not quite as much as, like, if I'm comparing it to the Tomb Raider doll and the Furby, probably on par with the Furby, but I'm not sure. Cabbage Patch Kids. Baby Beth. Okay, the next toy we have is the Robo-Dog by Techno. Now nobody listen to Techno, now let's go. I haven't actually tested if this works. Oh yeah, I remember now, lots of different buttons, if I remember right. Or like things you could touch that would make different response. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. I haven't actually put batteries in this yet to test it because it's one of those that requires like the little mini screwdrivers that you get in Christmas crackers. I never save, but should save for these random occasions. I remember watching Spy Kids. I think it was Spy Kids. It had something to do with like the kids building robots. And I remember thinking, like every time I went to the cinema to see a new film, that was it. Like I was certain I was gonna be whatever was in that film. Like I literally watched Annie and believed I was gonna be a nun and work at an orphanage. That's how committed I would get to these films. Yeah. Anyway, after I saw Spy Kids, I really wanted to build my own robot, or at least have my own robot pet. So this was the gift that I got that year for Christmas. I think a lot of kids had these, if I remember. Like, they're one of those things that, for some reason, most kids I knew had one. It's a little bit scuffed, and I'm sure his eyes light up. And you get this bone, which I can't remember what, but he needs this for some reason. I can't remember why. Anyway, I've just lost the bone. It's got all these different, like, mechanical looking parts to it. See, it's still floppy. And I think I remember it making funny noises. I'll show you anyway, we'll try and get it on. I think this was one of those toys I wanted so bad and then played with for all of like 1 hour, if that, and then never played with again. So for that reason, I'm sorry guy, what's that in your mouth? I'm gonna give him a 2. Because although he was cool, he made noises and I think he walked, but I actually think this is something I love now but probably didn't love as a kid. I'm gonna give him a 3. Or did I say 2? Why do I keep forgetting? I'm gonna give him a 2. Yeah, I'm gonna give him a 2. Sorry. No, his nose is really squidgy. Okay, the next thing I have, which I am so excited about, is actually a book, but no ordinary book. A Casper sticker book. This is the exact one I had as a kid, and I never got to complete it, so I'm so happy that we have this today. Casper was one of my cartoons, which was like loads of little cartoons on each video. And when the movie came out, my dad took me to see it, and I would not shut the heck up about this film. I love Casper. And I still love him, he's so cute. Look at him, he's so cute. This was made in 1995 when I would have been 5 years old. I think I was probably about between 8 and 10 when I got this. So it has all these pictures on the front, which is Cat's dad, and 2 of the uncles, which are mean. There's all 3 of them there. Can't remember the names. Cat, who is obviously played by Christina Ricci, who was and still is an amazing actress, and Casper. And then the 2 buddies, I can't remember his name, but I know I think he's called like Jasper or Rasper or something, or is that a 100 more Dalmatians? I don't know. So inside it has these spaces that are numbered. I couldn't find one that was completely empty, so as you can see here, someone has placed one of the stickers, the collectible stickers, in the book. But then we have 2, 3 and 4, which is a space for the stickers, and throughout the book, like, it's like that with, this was the only one I could find that had the least stickers filled in. So yeah, and then for each picture it tells a story here of like what is happening and basically telling a film, I think. So there's actually 4 filled in on these pages, and I just love this book. I just love this book so much because, I don't know, there's just something about this film that is just so nostalgic to me, and I just have so many good memories of this film, of Casper. But then the best part of all, I managed to get my hands on 40 of the collectible stickers with the numbers on the back. So together we can go through the book and fill them in. I don't care about the resale of this, I just want to be able to fulfill a childhood dream that I did not get to finish. So together we're gonna do it. Oh my god, that was nice. This light is so hot. I just see the house in this one, don't see anything else. We could have most of them here, but there's definitely a few missing. So yeah, we've got quite a lot to fill in. So let me know if you want to see a video of just me doing that. Okay, so I'm gonna give the Casper sticker book and the stickers. So I'm going to give the Casper sticker book and stickers I don't know, I'm going to give it another 10 out of 10. A lot of us are lucky to get really spoiled by our family at Christmas when we were children, and we got lots of presents. Some unfortunately are not as lucky, which is awful. So I do feel very grateful that I did get these presents, and even half of these toys would have been enough, but I got a lot, like a lot of kids, so I might have rated quite a lot of them quite high. As I say, I got a lot of toys growing up over Christmases and birthdays from my family, and that I'm very grateful about, as I say, but only so many of them I can remember or stood out to me as being my favourites, and that is what I tried to get today. I think the Rust doll, I think I actually came across that by accident, and then I recognised it. But apart from that, these were presents I remembered from my childhood really enjoying, and toys, should I say, or hold like core memories, or at least very nostalgic for me, so that's why a lot of them are probably quite high. So before my battery dies yet again, I'm gonna say goodbye. Thank you so much for watching, and comment below if you had any of these toys when you were growing up, or if you recognise any of them, or maybe you're too young and I'm just old, I don't know. Anyway, make sure to take care